Salve, this is PTSD Manga Recap Review for Wild Strawberry Chapters 13 and 14, and this is Wild Strawberry 12.1, when he's saying how he's going on a break and they weren't going to have a chapter until 12:28. Thank you for your support and understanding. Ire Yonemoto. You can see he did like a little sketch work and stuff like that. And it really left off at the part where it's like it looked like Maki was, you know, well, we're going to find out now. This chapter, they don't have the name until the end. So chapter 13 is going to be The Die is Cast. But they don't have the chapter name until the end of it. But it's a really good chapter. This thing's really heating up. It should go at least 26, 33 chapters. Reminds me a lot of Fire Force and other stuff. But let's get right into it. So here we can see basically he's basically having Kingo and Kayano filled in on what's going on, and one of them retracted knowing what's up. So the Mother Jinka supposedly bloomed 36 years ago in 1986, but the Jinka bloomed before the Mother Jinka, so elsewhere in the abandoned factory they found an experimental version of the Jinka. So basically this was from like before 1986, like maybe 1980, 1990, 1981. So they find this place, they found it a while ago. So basically they made the Jinka, the people made the Jinka, so it's really a lot like chasing the Wheeled Warriors. And then we can see here we have another Jinka. They're finding Maki's corpse. You know, they're basically being like, so basically what happens is the funeral force makes the Jinkas. It's kind of a lot like Claymore, you know, where they were making the people. You know, they're making like the wings, the awakened beings and stuff like that. So basically we wouldn't go through with this because there's a lot of reading. The Mother Jinka bloomed 36 years ago in 1986. But what does that mean? That Jinka bloomed before the Mother Jinka? Elsewhere in this abandoned factory, we discovered multiple human remains buried inside trees, each dated to around the same time. All of the trees died at roughly the same time. Everything we found leads to one conclusion. This specimen here is an experimental version of the Mother Jinka. See, these are exactly the kind of people who would let themselves get infiltrated by a Jinka. Mind your tongue, Chikia! So basically these guys are kind of like foils. So yeah, so basically the Black Lily is the name of the group, if I remember right. Yeah, and there's 9 squads. So the Black Lily created the Jinka. All Jinka were human at some point, so we got to remember that, like the Titans and like a lot of other stories, even like, you know, Claymore. So chapter 13, The Die is Cast, we start getting into this thing. He's recruiting him, and then he explains that basically Maki's actually still alive. We're going to get to that a little bit more next chapter. So he had his Jinka could kind of make it like a power. His Jinka could sort of clone it. And the reason that they're so interested in him is all the Jinka, they parasite the host, and they all end up, eventually you're going to end up like that. Or I guess unless you're the Mother Jinka, but eventually you're going to end up a corpse, because it drains all your nutrients and stuff. But the reverse was with Kingo and Kayano, she basically parasited him to save his life. She's keeping him alive, so it's a lot like Chainsaw Man and many other things. So then we get into chapter 14, Die is Cast Part 2, as you can see. So Maki, as you can see, is still alive. He explains basically, so he did this so they could kind of go deep undercover and figure out what's going on. So everyone directs their anger at the Jinka, but the truth is the Jinka was created by man, which is a lot like other things that we know were created by man, like the pandemic, or the endemic, or whatever you want to call it. Here you can see the Jinka and the funeral force, so they're making Jinka, or they know they're Jinka, or they're part of the Black Lily. So the Black Lily is in the funeral fire force, or whatever you want to call it. So let's do this, not much reading. They're called the Black Lily. They created Jinka. They're the root of all evil. But I'm not really sure if they're the evil ones, because I think maybe they made it as a way to sustain things and sustain life and keep things going on. But if you think about it, the Kingo Kayano way would keep things going perhaps eternally, because they can live that way. And you can see here's the Kingo, the Jinka, they're making more Jinka. There's Jinka like up there, so there's Jinka up the ass right here. So there's a lot of Jinka. So yeah, I'd say Tokyo Wild Strawberry is doing pretty good. I was going to say it reminds me of Tokyo Ghoul a lot too, because they had like the things where they parasite and stuff like that. So it's interesting to know what the Jinka that has worked with them and they're parasiting them, what they think of everything. So yeah, they kind of go into, you could say there's like a secret environment and they go in there and everything. So yeah, I would say this is pretty good. Wild Strawberry, it's doing pretty good. I guess, I hope. Maybe they'll get a physical manga release so I can get it. But the best thing going right now is Nues Exorcist. Everyone knows. But anyways, thanks and take care.